Welcome back, everybody. I found my way out of the woods. Brack is back in his room. Totally was remote casting for that previous game. But M-Test, after the game one, I think we can say that while Invulnerables did close that out in a fairly convincing fashion, still feeling pretty okay if you're an OCT fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure, right? I think both teams are kind of a bit shaken up there. I mean, sure, Chaos, he kind of got abused, bullied, as you were calling it. The definition of it. I mean, I guess like Camille and Sejani, it's so hard to stay even, right? And they, Invulnerable, they really play their cards right. They punish a top side, and even though they kind of almost made that insane big throw happen on that bot side where they gave Orgulous Clash team an whole ace. I feel like after that they kind of shook it off, and going into game 2, I feel like draft is gonna be ever so important because Citron, this guy, is famously known for playing the carry junglers, right? The Graves, the Olaf, stuff like this, and you can't really afford to be able to cover for your solo laners that much. You need solo laners that are able to stay even in a 1v2 matchup if you want to be able to carry as a jungler. And Citron has to make a decision this next game. Either he has matches and plays something like the Jarvan, the Vi, and something that can match gank in the early game, right? And try to cover for your solo laners. Or he tells the team, you just have to play more safe, and I will carry the game if you just don't int. And that might be the kind of go button that he goes for, right? Because it's wrong. I mean, that's what we're saying. I don't think this guy will pick a tank, and just he will try to carry the game once again.
Well, getting ourselves into Champion Select for game number 2. Oh, I'm going to have to... there we go. We're good. I was head off the screen a little bit. But we are into this Champion Select for game number 2. Again, we see the Fiora taken off the board. And are you expecting any particular draft adaptations coming out from game 1? Obviously, Orgulous Clash team did opt to go onto the blue side for this game 2.
Yeah, I mean, Orgulous have the first pick, right, as you were saying, so it's probably just gonna get a really strong pick out there. I mean, they actually banned the Sejani themselves this time, so really don't want Hellish on that kind of ganky jungler in the early game, right? But there are so many more for Hellish if he wants to do that. I mean, we mentioned the Jarvan, the Vi, right? So I feel like with this draft already, they're saying that Throne is gonna play a carry again, and maybe they just play a bit more safer picks, right? I mean, I've been saying it time and time again already in this cast, but if you pick Jax, you really need help in the early game, or at least one lane to be able to play through. But in the first game, or less, they didn't really have that, right? So I want them to have a clear identity in this game, in the early game to play through, and then in the mid and the late game, I mean, anyone can carry in their team, right?
Absolutely. Bans coming through thick and fast. Sejuani will be taken away from Hellish in this game. And we also see the Darius ban once again leveled towards Uzol. Shen has been taken away from Chaos. In fact, that's been heavily banned by Invulnerables. In fact, in their previous series up against Carolyn Erner, we saw an 100% ban rate for Shen, and that looks like it's going to be something that will continue in this series.
Yeah, and I mean the Olaf as well, right? Getting taken out. I mean, I think you said it right. It was Orgulous who banned it themselves in the last game. Even though Throne is, I mean, such so famous for playing it, but they are gonna go once again for that Silas, right? I mean, Fierce, he was kind of dumpstering him honestly in that 1v1 matchup on the Akali. So if they want to go for comfort, they just pick that again and they just run it back, right? And then it's really on Rot to be able to deliver a lot better in that lane matchup, right?
I think like
Piscalo had the MF as well, had some really great bullet times, but I mean, honestly, Invulnerable, they just played a lot better as a team, right? Sure, Uzol, he was really the superstar on the top lane in that game. He got a lot of attention from Hellish, but they were playing better as a team. And picking that MF, I mean, it's gonna just allow Hellish to be able to play through whichever lane he chooses. MF can be played around. She can also be left on a weak side, has that bullet time to clear for herself. And it looks like it's gonna be a run back for Freya. He's going for the Akali once again. Oh, Cap.
Xander will instead go for the Karma in this game, and considering that's another thing that we saw quite a lot, Karma has been banned heavily. In fact, it was Orgulous Clash team that had a 100% ban rate of the Karma on red side. So perhaps just, Invulnerables going, we see you, so we're going to deny you that Karma because you clearly think it's so strong.
Yeah, I mean, good pickup as well, right? Because you already see the Silas, you know Akali is not going to come out, so you might as well wait until your third pick, right? You can pick a strong champion that is blindable, and that is the karma right now. I mean, they are going to be forced to answer with the AD as well, right? Because maybe then if they don't, a lot of ADs get taken down, and you're forced on non-comfort for Kang, and he's not going to go for the Varus this time around. I mean, they tried to pick it away from Piscala right in the first game, but he looked ever so comfortable on that misfortune, and now they go for the Camille as well, the blind pick once again. They're going to have 2 bans this time around, but you just have to imagine, right? You have to ban the Akali here for free. It's like, what do you do if you don't?
Yeah, there we go. Immediately will be taken away from the side of the August Clash team. And looking forwards, it seems that then ban from Invulnerable will be the Lulu taken away from Magic Pants. Something, yeah, another of those big enchanters that you could pair up with a hyper carry like the Jinx.
Yeah, that's just, we said it right. We want Orgles to have a clear win con in this game, and so far they have been drafting a bit more clear. I mean, Viego, sure, he wants to play for himself as well, but he can also gank in that early game. So I kind of the best of both worlds here for Citron, I feel like. And while though that is gonna be, I'm not gonna talk about it before it's locked because then I just get jinxed. Okay, it's gonna be the Jarvan lock-in, so Kang is not gonna be happy about this one, right? You're playing Jinx, you're playing an immobile carry. Obviously, yeah, it's gonna be rough for him, right? Obviously, Rotti does not gonna care as much because he have mobility on that Silas, but again, invulnerability, kind of drafting once again a split pusher, but they also have a team fighting comp with a lot of engage on the jungler and a lot of consistent damage. But the Mordekaiser, this is quite known as a counter to the Camille, right? So Chaos, they're once again giving him the opportunity to have a counter pick on this top lane. And this time, it's for sure up to him to deliver. But it's the same thing, right? If he gets punished by Jarvan in the early game, Camille is going to take over once again.
It's just going to have to see if Chaos can play it safe until the level 6, at which point any 2v1 becomes a series of sequential 1v1s, which is far better for the Mordekaiser, especially, of course, if they can succeed to kill someone in the Death Realm and hold on to their stats to deal with their unfortunate ally. Final pick locked in. Going to be Fierce going for the Victor this time. So a solid pickup to go alongside this composition. I certainly like the idea of putting a Chaos Storm on top of a Cataclysm or a Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah, and I mean, Roto this game, he doesn't really have the best of ultimates to steal, right? I mean, you could steal the Hextech Ultimatum, but that's pretty much the best one as you can get. Sure, if you're really fed, you can steal the Cataclysm as well from Jarvan, but Fierce, I mean, he's not scared to get the Akali banned because he knows he has so many picks into the Silas. You have the Zoe still, the Victor, the Azir. I mean, so many control matches that you can pick into the Silas and have prior in that lane. So once again, Invulnerable, they're going for such a like a wombo combo style with a split pusher, and they can also team fight. I really like their comp in this game. I feel like OCT, once again, they have drafted themselves a comp where the top laner has to get ahead. And if they don't do that in this game, there's not really a lot of tools to be working with on the other side.
Yeah, we'll see if Citron can make it happen on the Viego. Obviously, if he gets a couple of kills in the early game, you can hyper snowball on this Viego pick. And, well, if that happens, that sounds like the Citron show, which is exactly where he wants to be. We saw it in their previous matchup. They had one game where Citron got 2 kills in the early game on the Belveth, and you basically just say, wrap it up, send that one home, because there was not a thing their opponents could do about the Belveth.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it as well. Of the Viego, it's such a perfect champion for Citron because if you get a reset early in the fight, you will take over 1v5. You will literally carry the fight on your own. But if he doesn't, his whole team is gonna fall apart and they're all gonna die. So this is the perfect pick for Citron. I feel like it's really up to him to once again kind of deliver to his team. But once again, I mean, you have the Mordekaiser, right? You have to give attention to this guy in the early game because if you don't, I mean, I've been saying it time and time again, but I'm gonna keep saying it until this. Until Citron helps out his top laner because Mordekaiser cannot fall behind as well. It's the same type of champion as Jax. If you fall behind, you're gonna be super useless.
The only thing I can really think of in a later game situation is basically just playing denial and just going, okay, well, I can make it so objective fights are really difficult. Alt Hellish, make sure that there is no smite available for the opposing team, which still has some value, but you are absolutely right. If Uzol gets rolling again, as he did in game 1, then things are going to look pretty rough for the Orgless Clash team. We are onto the Rift, and we see a full-on death squad running down the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, Invulnerable, the last time around, right, Piskelog, he got punished, and Orgless, they're trying to do the same thing again, trying to make something happen level 1, at least get a ward, and they're all going as one, so I really like what they're doing here. Even though the last game did not work out for them, they're still not afraid to make something happen level 1. This time around though, they're not really gonna get any sort of info whatsoever. They are gonna get that ward in the bush, but Invulnerable, they didn't really spot the invade, right, so they can't really get any sort of vision on their own without a risk, but looks like Fierce, he is really confident this one. He's just gonna be stepping up and get a crucial ward on those Raptors.
It is extremely important to know where this Viego is starting, and looking where he is right now, it looks like he's going to be actually pathing away from the top lane. So your wish of Chaos being, sheltered through these early levels so he can get to that level 6, so he can get to the point where he can properly trade with Uzol properly, and of course be more resilient to ganks, not going to be happening this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like OCT here, they're really saying that if Karma and MF are able to play the 2v2 as they want, they can really have a lot of pressure in this one, but Citron pathing towards that bot lane is gonna be able to maybe find something on that bottom side with the dredge line coming in from Magic Pants. But as you were saying, right, Chaos is gonna be left on an island once again on this top lane, and it's really up to him to be able to manage his waves properly. Magic Pants though, level 1, all this Nautilus is really looking strong, and they are gonna be able to secure that push from the bot side. Hellish though, looking really sneaky here on the level 2 Jarvan.
Might be able to get on this one if Kang and Magic Pants keep on pushing. Here he will come looking for the knock-up. Flag and Drag does not catch on to anyone. Flash forwards from Sander. Kang does still have his summoners, but it will not be enough. Ghost was burned, but First Blood goes across to Piccolo.
And Kang tried to get level 2 there somehow. Maybe they could turn it around if they both committed to it, but that's the thing, that he was completely alone. And they just had to try to get out there. I think they was fine. I think Hellish actually went a bit too early on that gank, but he's not done. He doesn't care about camps, this guy. He just goes for it again.
Rotyu does have the ability to get out of this one, but he's going to be zoned away. Citron has the level 6 and is now pushing into Hellish's jungle. Could be a dangerous situation for this Jarvan. He's currently trying to just make sure that Fierce doesn't get dove on by Rotyu, however. Hellish, I think, about to find himself face-to-face with Citron. Hits the level 6 off the lane, the level 3 rather, off the lane minions. Is able to flag and drag to safety as well. Uzol is now making his way down as well. Citron is going to be the target. The stun lands, and the Viego will be taken down. Hellish now going to try and chase onto Rotyu. Abscond, Abduct will not avail him anything. And with Sander making the way up, it's 3 again in the early game for Invulnerables.
So he gets the pry on the top side, and then he just roams to his team. Did you see that flash in him? He got 2 stuns. He got both Citron and Rotu, and that was just super cleanly played from Uzol. He knows his prio. He's not gonna allow Citron to take any more jungle on the side of Hellish. I mean, Hellish, he was just sending it, man. He went for his blue buff, went for the level 2 gank on bot side. That worked out. Then you would think, okay, now he's gonna go for his red buff, surely, right? No, he just runs straight to mid, and they get another 2 kills. I mean, this just looks like a banger, honestly.
Chaos was looking pretty damn confident, trying to get the damage down onto Uzol, but will not manage. Hellish, however, he is going to visit every lane on this map before 5 minutes. He's able to dodge away from the flag and drag. It's Hellish actually back into the tower, forces the flash out from the Jarvan, and Chaos was left alone for just a couple of moments, and now feeling pretty strong. However, Obliterate gets missed. They're going to try and find the follow-up, and the follow-up flag and drag will set up for an early kill, a second early kill for Uzol once again.
Oh, Chaos. He sidestepped the EQ combo from Hellish. Had to flash his way regardless, right? But then he was feeling a bit too confident. Tries to walk up 1v2. And as you were saying, Uzol already has 2 kills on this Camille. He has the Sheen completed already. And Chaos, he's once again not gonna be happy on this Mordekaiser. Hellish, I mean, this guy... He doesn't care about farm, and he's only like 2 camps down, right? So he's not really losing anything from this, and he's just investing so hard into his solo lanes, and it's paying dividends already for Invulnerable.
The early play from Citron was feeling... I thought he was going to go for some kind of split map situation, which would have been fantastic for protecting Chaos. But unfortunately, he gets dragged into the play on mid lane. and ends up getting punished immensely when Sander and Uzol are able to roam to make the play happen. And once again, we see ourselves at a situation in this early game where it's just all Invulnerables.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right. It's just all Invulnerables. Currently, 0 kills on the side of Orgles. They're 2k down as well, and Hellish looking to cover his bot lane here, make sure that they can crash in the wave. If something happens, he's ready here to counter gank. And we all saw what happened when he did it on the mid lane. He ganked top lane as well. This guy's been everywhere this entire game. But Uso now, level 6 on his Camille, might be looking to go for the trade, but Citron is here to cover the play.
Yes, indeed. Chaos yet to hear that level 6. And of course, if he does, that actually means that Citron can't help him in the trade. Citron is actually going to just take
cheeky.
the reset. And that's definitely just a cheeky little brush camp coming out from the Invulnerables. See if they could maybe find Magic Pants as he looks for vision. It's so difficult to think about what Orgles can do right now because their options are so limited.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right. They need first of all, they need to build some sort of shutdown, right? I mean, they have the setup on the bot side with Magic Pants on Nautilus. If Citron can get 6 and he can get a kill there, he can get the reset and really turn his team up a notch. But Invulnerable, they're not gonna waste any time. They have double prio on both mid and bot, which means they can be first in the river and just gonna secure this Drake pretty much for free. And Citron not gonna be able to really take anything on the other side, right? It's just gonna clear towards the top side. And in 1 minute's time, that Herald comes up. And I'm really curious to see if OCT have any saying in who that Herald goes to.
I have some doubts about that, just because of how strong this early game from the Invulnerables is. We can't count out Orgles, obviously. They do have some great scaling. We've got a Jinx there, known for being that super scaling late game option. We know Viego, if he picks up a kill or two, can also develop into that. If you get 1 reset for the Viego, he can snowball a fight just so darn hard.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. I think the kind of negative factor for Kang this game is he doesn't really have a frontline to work with, right? And Fierce and Piscalo, they're going to have so much range to be playing with. It's not the easiest task to play Jinx in this one, even when you get to the later stage of that game. But as you were saying, right, the later the game goes, Kang is going to have, I mean, he's going to have so much more impact, right? But that's kind of one thing I wanted to talk about as well, is that OCT, having both these drafts, prioritized the Sylas quite heavily, right? In both of the games, they have been getting counterpicked, and he has not been able to kind of contribute as much. I mean, sure, this game he's getting ganked. He might be getting ganked once again.
Magic Pants shows up in the mid lane, might dissuade some aggression, but right now, Sander and Hellish are just kind of walking around, seeing if anyone puts themselves in a vulnerable position, because they have all of the opportunity to prioritize or at least allow Piscalo to just get that solo farm. And the 1v1 will begin on the top side. Chaos puts Uzol in the Death Realm to try and get this damage down. Citron is here for as soon as he comes out. Hextech Ultimatum will help this play go forwards. Hellish and Sander has started off the Rift Herald, but the turnaround will come through. Rothue is the first to arrive. Fierce flashes over though and is going to try and make this play happen. But Chaos and Citron, having forced Uzol off, will now step in. There is the reset onto the Viego. Magic Pants going solo. Uzol now shows up, finds himself the killing spree. Hellish will take down Magic Pants, and Citron will drop as well to the Jarvan. And still, Orgles try to make plays, and still, Invulnerables will just put them down.
Both teams go for the Herald play, right? And I like the idea, the initial one coming out from Orgles. I mean, they tried to go for the kill onto Uzol. You get that, you get Chaos sending him into the Shadow Realm, but it's not enough. I mean, he doesn't get taken out. Then once he lives, I mean, Invulnerable are there to cover for the team, and sure, maybe the mechanical aspect of that fight was not the best. I mean, Fierce flashing over, misses the Chaos Storm completely, but when you're this far ahead as Invulnerable, you want to take every single fight that you can, and you're gonna get so many kills under their belt. Hell is gonna be able to pick up the tail as well, and OCT, I mean, they're looking kind of equally sad as the last game, but in the last game they actually got that comeback going. I really want to see if they can do it again.
Or will Invulnerables tighten up their gameplay so no such gap can be found? We're approaching 10 minutes on this Rift. 8 kills to 1 for Invulnerable. 3.5+ K gold advantage. I'd like to see production, if we can, where that gold specifically sits. I feel like a large amount of that advantage, 1.2k of that is on Uzol alone, and we see Chaos being just completely escorted out of this lane. No ults available for either, but Uzol will not need it when you've got a Q that does that much damage.
I mean, man, he's like he has a Divine Sunder against. I don't even know what that item's called. It's the beginning of Riftmaker. I don't know. Yeah, nice one, nice one. That's it, and that's everything that he has. It is not looking like a happy Mordekaiser at this point. Going forward, I can only imagine that Hellish, the last game, they broke the mid tower kind of early, right? Because of the fact that they put Herald in mid lane really early. He might just look to run it back, and then they can play for the second rate that is coming up in a couple of minutes time. And it's all just Invulnerables in the driving seat, right? OCT, they kind of have to sit back and look at what the Invulnerable are doing and try to counter their plays.
Oh, Uzol gets put into the Death Realm, gets cancelled out of the hook shot. Citron is here as well. For the moment he gets released, it will just be the turnaround. Spectral Maw, Hextech Ultimatum will come down. He is desperate to put this kill onto the Mordekaiser, but he will not be able to do so. It will be a second kill for Citron, but we are still seeing Chaos in this very dire lane situation.
Oh, Uzol almost looked to turn it there, but they get the shutdown, right? And it goes on to the best player. I mean, Citron, the best champion in the game, rather, on the Viego. And this is just gonna give Invulnerable the opportunity, right, to just go for the bot side Herald and completely crack that tower open. But not bad for Orgles. I mean, they were gonna lose a tower eventually with that Herald play, and they just got a kill under the belt. Citron almost able to finish his third item of the game. And as we were saying, right, this champion is so potent in these fights. If he can get one kill, he can really take over.
And we did see Shelly get dropped down in the bot lane. First brick will be claimed for the side of the Invulnerables, and that lines up almost perfectly with the Cloud Drake spawning onto the Rift. So we see the Dragon stacking coming through this time, but worryingly, it's on the side of Invulnerables that it's happening.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, right? I mean, you see Rotto once again, he's not having it in this mid lane. I mean, he's just getting. I mean, after those couple of kills in the early game, right? It's just fierce. He gets his upgrade on his E super early, right? And after that, it's just super hard for Rotto to be able to contest this lane whatsoever. And that's what we were talking about, right? He doesn't have any sort of good ultimates to steal, and that just makes this Syla pick really sad. He's not really. I think the best thing that he can do in this game is actually just steal the Jarvan ultimate and try to lock Fierce and Piscalo up, and then just kind of sacrifice himself for the team and hope that Citron cleans up.
Yeah, that's well, as you say, a very sad situation to be in when you're wanting to be this big carry on the Sylas. But right now, we have a bit of a lull state. Who's actually caught towards the bot side. Rothugh does have the Chaos Storm available. Citron on the chase, but hookshot wall dive. Uzol. On top of that, this game has opted to go for the flash, so every 5 minutes when that's up, it's basically just a complete get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good pickup, right? As you were saying, he can flash the Viego ulti, he can flash the Noble's Hook, have so many good tools to be able to get out from if you have that flash to your arsenal. You can also get a flash engaged on the side of Kang. It's really hard to do that when you're playing as such a long-range carry as the Jinx. Now OCT kind of looking to group up to get some sort of pressure here, but realistically, there's not really any objectives going on right now. I mean, Invulnerable had 2 Drakes, as we were saying. Invulnerable also kind of finishing all of their mythics on their carries right now. Chaos actually finishing his Riftmaker as well quite early into the game, so maybe it's the fact where he can start to fight back a bit into Camille, but right now it's looking like he's going towards Fierce. And let's be honest, I mean, no one can really match Fierce in this game. He's just so strong on this victor.
Much 006 does not belie his strength, of course, because 25 stacks of that Glorious Evolution passive every time he gets a takedown, a kill or assist. So right now, I wouldn't be surprised at all, in fact, if he is, maybe, if not on the level 6. Oh, Chaos Storm actually gets dropped down into the Death Realm. Fierce dodging, trying to survive as long as possible, but Chaos will be able to take him down, shut him down. Hellish is now going to be the next target. Citron makes his way across, flag and drag, followed by a flash, though, will be enough to get Hellish to safety. However, it happens at an awkward time, 30 seconds before the next Rift Herald will spawn onto the Rift.
But really good pickup there from Chaos. I mean, he knows his limits, right? He's playing the Mordekaiser. Oh, Kang, though, does not know his limits. It's going to be taken down by Piscalo. Oh.
Piscalo gets them. And now they get to push in towards the top side. Get this turret down. Get that objective bounty picked up. this might be the beginning of something beautiful for the side of the All Clash team.
And that's the thing for Chaos, right? I mean, if he can get on top of these carriers like Fierce and Piscalo with his flash, he's for sure gonna win out on that 1v1. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I thought he was gonna lose out on that in the Shadow Realm against Fierce, but once he has that Riftmaker, he gets his Conqueror procced, he's so hard to kill with that shield popping as well, and Fierce, he gets taken down, and while he doesn't have a shutdown, Chaos is gonna be able to get that shutdown tower, he's gonna get the kill as well, as we were saying. And he's looking a bit more happier now on his Mordecai, so I have to say. But Invulnerable, gonna be able to pick up his Herald pretty much for free. I mean, OCT, they kind of were all on their base timing, so just have to give that one up. Yeah. But this kind of gives Rotu as well kind of time to be able to farm in this side lane.
That it does. Rotu is going to still be around 50 CS down towards Fierce, but yeah, having the lane situation that he had, that's not so terribly surprising. Rift Herald has been secured, as you say, right now. Invulnerables stacked up as 4, shoving out this top lane while they leave Uzol towards the mid to soak up that extra farm, that extra experience on his own.
Yeah, that's really small, but really like smart play there, right? Just mentioning it yourself, Uzol going in that mid lane to pick up that wave, and you could be saying that, hey, he's just stealing the MF's experience or gold or whatever, but Piscalo, as we said, right, we saw him on the map, he pushed out his mid lane, then went to his top side to secure that tower, right, and Uzol already had pushed out that bot lane, so he can kind of go towards mid lane and clear that wave as well for himself. But now, Hellish is gonna go for the engage of the Magic Pants.
Magic Pants has been locked up. He will survive for oh so long. Eventually gets taken down, but Hellish will be the price that is paid. Shut down, and the goal goes across to Kang on this Jinx. August are not going to overstep their bounds. No, never mind. Citron tries to go on Sander. Isn't quite able to find the flag and drag, though. They will be able to step back. Drake, the first Hextech Drake of the game, spawning onto the Rift in just a moment's time. And August do have a decent position to fight this one.
Yeah, but Orglis are on a timer. They have to start this Drake, or they're gonna get poked by Fierce and Piscalo, and they don't have the healthiest health bars right now. They have to force it. They are gonna go into
Chaos. Fierce. Chaos has taken Fierce into the death realm. They're going to try and take this Victor down. The flash will keep him alive for just a moment longer. Uzol deletes Chaos as he comes out of the death realm. Bullet time comes forward, but it will not quite take down Citron. It will end up being taken down all the same. Citron running for the hills. Uzol just going to survive as long as he can. Will pick up a triple, and Invulnerables going to close it out with the final kill with the ace. And we'll look to take this down. The third Drake of the game, soul point secured.
And OCT, they had a glimmer of hope there. Maybe they can get that Drake and stop the snowball in Drake Factor on the side of Invulnerable. But as we were saying, right, they have so much range to work with. And Uzol, he just gets the flash on top of them as well. And after that, it's just cleanup crew. I mean, you saw Kang there, his health bar just evaporated in front of our very eyes. And they're gonna get that third Drake. They're gonna get a tier 2 bot as well. And so much gold in their pockets. It's almost a 10,000 gold lead for Invulnerable.
And the question now becomes, where is the way back in? MTES, do you see an angle? It literally just singular picks at this point, because they are so outmatched in these 5v5s. It is, as Captain Flowers would say, it is just a wallet slap situation right now.
Yeah, so I think, realistically speaking, I think if enemy has to pause, I think you have like 15 minutes or something before you have to play the game anyways. So I think what OCT has to hope for is Invulnerable somehow, somewhere, maybe their whole city gets like an electricity outage, and they cannot reconnect in time for this game to be unpaused. And I think that's pretty much the win con for them right now. I mean, they're 10k behind. It's an incredible mountain to climb, especially when you don't have a tank, you don't have the best engage as well. Invulnerable can literally take any single fight they want. They have prio on every single lane as well, and if they don't mess up as badly as they did in the last one, they're gonna take this home. Pretty smooth sailing from here on.
Looks like Invulnerables have learned from their mistakes of Game 1. They left the door open for but a moment, and OCT did punish it quite heavily. This time, it seems that no such gaps are to be found just yet. And so Invulnerables, as you say, continue to push their advantage, continue to push their lead. And the best thing is, for Invulnerables, they don't even need to do that much more right now. They can continue choking August Clash team out of this game. We see Hellish put Shirley down towards this bottom side. Chaos is here, but I don't think they're going to want to try anything too much. Magic Pants, a lot of damage being dropped down. A couple more hits will do the trick. Bullet time, not quite enough to finish that one off.
Yeah, but I really like the point that you bring up there. I mean, yes, this is actually quite a common issue for teams. I know when I played as well, when you were this far ahead, you kind of started to get a lot cocky, right? You get so confident that you want to go for every single play instead of just taking it slow and make sure that you get a dub on the board, right? I think, as you were saying, in Invulnerable, they don't really have to do much right now. They just have to push in their waves. They can get that Drake Soul pretty much for free. They should be able to create a lot of pressure on this Baron as well. And if you get those two objectives, it's just so easy to end the game. So their only objective right now should be to pretty much not overforce. I think that's why Piscalo actually didn't really have the flash to his arsenal, couldn't flash for Magic Pants there, but as you were saying, they just really have to take it slow and patiently.
On the subject of Baron, actually, would you feel about Invulnerables actually going for it right now? Is it worth it? They're so far ahead right now that if by some miracle August were able to take it away, surely that's a way back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure, right? I mean, Kang also has just finished his Phantom Dancer right now. I think if you're invulnerable, though, you shouldn't be scared of this big purple worm because of the fact that you can throw the game from it. I mean, you're 10k ahead. You should be able to push in every single lane that you want. You should be able to get really deep vision, and you should be able to kind of secure it for free, right? If you somehow lose it to Orgless, it's because the setup was wrong or you played insanely wrong, and I think that's you shouldn't be scared of taking it. I think you should just be able to control it, and OCT really have to play perfectly. I mean, Citron, he has to get an opening to try to steal it, but now they're looking to go for the 2v2
here. Trying to go for it. Rothue, however, is the one locked up. Citron is going to try and get the damage down onto Fierce. He flashes out and away, but he will get taken down. Hellish will pick that one up. Magic Pants is here, though. Can they get the resets for this Viego? The gold difference feels like it's just too much. Trying to get onto Fierce, but he will get taken down. Magic Pants will not have the damage to get anything else done. The Super Mega Death Rocket is not enough either. On the bot side, there is going to be a kill picked up. Chaos takes down Uzol. But there's still two members in the mid lane, two members still pushing and getting kills in the top side. It's a small mercy that Chaos gets that solo kill.
I mean, I would have liked to just have seen that play onto Chaos. I mean, I was just kind of counting out Chaos, right? When he went into that 1v1 against Fierce, he won that one, and now he won against Uzol as well. So, yeah.
Uzol had the Quicksilver Sash. He had the QSS. You can get out of the Death Realm with that. I am... is this a little bit of that complacency coming through? Uzol's just like, I can take this guy. And, you know, it's the I'm a genius, followed immediately by the oh no meme.
I mean, you would have to imagine so, right? I mean, as he was saying, he has the QSS to also... I mean, still lost out on that 1v1. Even with 2 items on his Camille, maybe this is where Chaos gets online, but... I mean, Invulnerable, they're not scared to take any fights, and they should be able to win out on a 5v5 situation.
Hextech Ultimatum gets dropped onto Chaos. No Death Realm for him. He will be removed, and the chase is now on. Rothue trying whatever he can to get away, but he will also fall. The Drake spawns onto the map with Invulnerables. They are going to show a little bit of restraint. Don't need to chase. Don't need to do anything more than just secure that Drake, secure that Hextech Soul, and put this game in the books.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to imagine that they just go for Nash here as well, right? They have so much time. I mean, Route 2, sure, he has the TP, but his 20 seconds death timer still. Chaos does not have the teleport on his Mordecai. He's still gonna be dead for so much time. And Uzol, while all this is happening, he can just keep pressuring that bot side and force OCT to make a decision. Looks like it's gonna be the decision to contest it, though. It's gonna be the final Hail Mary for OCT.
I mean, he's gonna try. Hail Mary play from Citron, but he has to use the Heartbreaker to get out. 4 members of Invulnerables on the Baron, Uzol on the bot inhibitor. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for the Orgless Clash team. Invulnerables will secure the Baron. They will lose nothing in so doing. Get their resets. They've got gold in spades, now a 14k gold advantage, and we're not even at 25 minutes.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, they are not only that they have a 14k gold lead, they have the Soul as well, and now the Baron. I mean, they pretty much have everything that they could have wished for. The Rabadon as well, completed for Fierce. It's... I mean, imagine that it was... I think it was like any mountain that was below Mount Everest that OCT had to climb before this. Now it's like for sure, like you have to climb to the moon if you want to win this one.
Hellish finds Chaos, is going to take him into the Death Realm. Other members of Invulnerables are available as well, though. Chaos, no flash, will find himself inside of a gravity field. Hellish will secure that one. The remaining 4 members of OCT going to try and push towards the top side. Piscolo and Sandy again playing respectively. Playing. The Super Death Rocket might just actually be exactly what OCT needs. Sichuan going to try and find the angle, try and find the connection onto Sandy that will be able to get the damage down. Piscolo is also caught out to the bottom side of the screens. This will be one across, but in fact, Magic Pants has shown up. Piscolo is the one who is caught out. And there's 4 members now trying to get themselves out of this one. However, meanwhile, in the bot and mid, 2 inhibitors drop. So they get a couple of kills, but again, at what cost, M-Test?
Yeah, and it costs everything, right? I mean, you lose double inhibs, and while Kang, he gets a kill, right? Sure, maybe it's somehow worth it if you can farm up these inhibitors, but Magic Pants doesn't have flash, it's got a face check, it's gonna take it down. No, it's a disaster.
He's already dead.
Oh my god, they're just kicking a horse that is down at this point, and I mean, sure, as we were saying, right, they get the shutdown onto Piscalo, but it's not really worth anything in the end if you cannot farm these double inhibitors, and the double inhibitors are gonna put so much pressure.
Throne? He's been spotted out. He's been found out. He's gonna get dove on, taken down. The inhibitor turret should do some work, but Uzel, with the flash available, is able to get out of this one. Hellish more than tanky enough to take some punishment from that